Hello everyone and welcome back to another installment of Indie Book Review. Today I'm looking at Galactic Mandate, A Radical Cause by M.R. Richardson. This space opera novel is the first book in what appears to be a series. This, also as far as I can tell, is the first novel by M.R. Richardson. What's it about? Is it any good? Well, let's get into it. So I took the synopsis from the Goodreads page, as I found that it actually described the book way better than what I could. So, the galaxy is in turmoil. The two main powers, the Acolyte Empire and the Clone Defense Force, vie for supremacy. Caught in between are the weaker Galactic Planetary League and the independent planets, pawns used and discarded for the greater game. The peace in the galaxy rests on a powder keg, and the fuse is about to be lit. As the son of the Acolyte Empire, Godreign, Devant lives a life of power and luxury that few can fathom. And since childhood, he's devoted his life to one thing: freeing the clone slaves of the CDF and banning the practice of cloning throughout the galaxy. But he is about to discover a secret that goes on to the heart of the empire he loves and serves. One that will set a course of vengeance and destruction that will shake the galaxy to its core. So, first I want to talk about the characters. And I actually really like the characters in this book. There doesn't seem to be any real lead character, but instead an ensemble of characters giving each their own point of view to the situation they're put in and the war in general. Devant, for example, is a compelling prince who is placed in power way too soon and has no idea how to handle his newfound command. Darkreign plays an excellent military commander who wants nothing more than peace for his people. Skyfall, the clone warrior who manipulates Devant into doing what she wants. 96, the sex model clone who escapes his master and finds himself in a world just way out of his depth. And finally, Kai, my personal favorite character of the book, and his goal to become the great soldier that he wants to be for the Acolyte Empire, and just the shitstorm that continues to follow him wherever he goes. And frankly, the character list goes on and on and on, but the ones that I described are the ones that I found made the story move forward more than the others. Each and every character feels real in their own way. They've all got their own merits and flaws that seriously add to who they are. They act illogically at times, as humans do. They act based on emotions, as humans do. And they figure things out and get themselves out of the predicaments in ways that real humans would. The characters were serious highlights to this book. I can't express enough how much I really enjoyed the characters. I don't see characters this well written in a lot of books. Hell, books that I myself have greatly enjoyed. I haven't found characters this compelling and this real. But you don't want to hear me just talk about characters. You want to actually hear me talk about the book in itself. And there were a lot of great things about this book. I mean, there were some major flaws as well, but I'm going to start with the good things, though. I kind of want to keep things positive. The story, not having a main protagonist and coming from several point of views, actually really works to the book's favor. It paints the conflict not as black and white, but instead shows the good and the bad choices on both sides. While I was reading the start of the book, I'd actually expected a clear protagonist, so I knew which side the author wanted me to root for. But instead, it showed the heinous acts of both sides, as well as the good deeds that they do. Showing the war and not having a main protagonist really worked for the character's benefit. It was a brilliant decision from the author's part, because you don't know which side should win. You don't know which side you want to win, because both have their pros and cons. The book also does a really good job of gripping the reader and keeping their attention. I actually planned on reading maybe 60 pages of the book, because when I started reading it was getting pretty late. But instead I found I couldn't put it down, and honestly read the whole book in one sitting. I think it was probably 2-3 in the morning by the time I finally got to go to bed. And I can honestly say that I can count the number of books that have made that claim on one hand. Not many books can make that claim. As I said before, the characters are well written and definitely have their own distinct personalities. But now I've got to talk about what's bad with the book. I got to talk about what brought it down. Oh. the opening was a little too fast-paced for the reader to really grip onto. The first chapter showed a bunch of delegates and leaders fighting each other, like literally fighting each other with fists and chairs, as well as words, which could have been a really cool scene, but there really wasn't a lot to work from. It's them fighting back and, like, arguing back and forth on topics and issues that the reader has absolutely zero knowledge as to what's going on. You got nothing to grip onto, and that's almost how the first few chapters worked. You don't really know what's going on, and I mean, I can kind of get it. I mean, it's sort of if you want to know, you have to keep reading, but it doesn't really work as well because you have nothing to grip onto. You don't know the characters, and you've got characters that you want to be the protagonist that are not, because, you know, like I said, there is no protagonist, but, you know, they're doing shitty things, and the characters on the other side are doing shitty things, and you're wondering, well, who the fuck does this guy want me to root for? But then, as you read on, you start to realize that you're not supposed to root for any side. You're supposed to just kind of see how this pans out and how each character changes throughout the story itself. But without anything to really grip on, I can see a lot of readers putting this down within the first few chapters. And the chapters, well, not a flaw by any means, although not really a positive, they're short. The majority of the chapters are really short. A lot of them are like 1 page long. Like I said, that's not really a flaw, but it's not really a merit. It's just kind of how it is. I did find a lot of cases of telling instead of showing, especially when it came down to emotions. A bit more description with the emotions definitely would have helped me visualize the characters and how they feel a little bit better. He also had a tendency of using sound effects within the book, you know, saying boom and instead of describing the sound, or he even had characters straight up saying ha 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 instead of describing the laughter. I think if he'd have changed that into more description instead of just straight up saying what it is, it probably would have been a little bit more, it just would have made things a little bit easier to visualize. And the only other drawback that I could think of was there did tend to be some hefty time skips, which definitely could have been used to the advancement of the characters, bringing on more character growth, and showing how the character grew and changed throughout that time to become who they are to become who they are at the end of the book. I don't know, it's just a missed opportunity in my opinion. But yeah, those are really the only major flaws that I could find. Like, when it comes down to it, they're pretty little. I mean, this is obviously a first author's first book, so I wasn't expecting a whole lot, if I'm being honest, and I got way more than what I bargained for. So the book was actually really good. I mean, the ending. I want to talk about the ending. Just a little bit. It was a good ending. It answered a lot of questions that I had throughout the whole book, and it kept several questions open for the to be explored for the second book. You know, it ended the way a book series should end. But I guess that's about all I really want to say about it. So, though clearly a first novel from a new author, the story is definitely engaging, the characters are interesting, and the setting is pretty damn cool. I give this book straight up a 7 out of 10. I'll be buying from this author in the future. And if you're wondering if you'd like this book, or who would like this book, if you're the sort of person who enjoys intrigue stories and space opera, this is the book for you. So yeah, thank you for watching Indie Book Review. I am greatly enjoying doing this series. I mean, this is the second one that I've done. And honestly, I kind of hope that I'm helping people find good books to read, because I was pleasantly surprised with this one. I would not have looked twice at this book in a bookstore or online or anything like that. So if I even help this guy sell one book with this review, it's worth it. It's worth it for me, and frankly, it'll be worth it for anybody else who wants their book reviewed. If you do, I will have my email in the description below. And yeah, just email me. I'm definitely open to doing more reviews. I'm really enjoying doing this. I'm enjoying getting and reading books that I wouldn't normally read. And I'm open to any genre. While sci-fi is definitely my one true love, I've got a love for all genres in their own way. Like, hell, I've read westerns and enjoyed them. I've read romance novels and have enjoyed them. I've read fantasy. I've read horror. I've read YA. I've read damn near anything, or damn near every genre, and have enjoyed them in their own respects. So I mean, yeah, don't be afraid to ask me. But anyways, that's about all I've got for you. So have a good one.